Club 40 Audio presents The Factory.
Lieutenant Jonathan Urey.
General, what is this all about?
You will be silent before the General!
On this day, October 30th, 1778, I, Major General Andre de V, find you guilty of conduct becoming of an officer. I find you guilty of the crime of performing your duties to the best of your ability and due diligence as a servant of the crown of His Most Royal Majesty King George III of England. It is for these crimes and numerous others that I hereby sentence you to the rank of captain, and fully expect that you will continue to conduct yourself in a manner becoming your rank. Congratulations, my boy.
What?
Just a bit of a joke, Captain. Oh, take those bloody manacles off of him, won't you? You are now a captain, and are entitled to all the privileges thereof. 3 cheers for Captain Jonathan Urey. Hip, hip.
Hooray!
Hip, hip.
Hooray!
Hip, hip.
Hooray!
Bring forth the captain's new uniform coat.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, it's still in the Hessian style, but I'm afraid it can't be helped, things being what they are. But it is new, and it has the correct insignias upon it, and we'll correct that as soon as new supplies arrive from England. Men, you are dismissed. Now come inside, Captain. We must discuss the plans for tomorrow's battle strategy.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Elizabeth, you're still here. I've been gone for hours. You should have gone home.
I promised I'd be here waiting for you, Jonathan, and Mr. Deeds has been keeping me company for the last hour or so.
Don't worry, Johnny. I wouldn't let anything happen to your lady fair, who you so tactlessly abandoned.
Keeping company, eh, Mr. Deeds?
That's right, Johnny. I may be one of the oldest men alive in Terrytown, but I'm not dead yet. So what drove you off in a huff?
I received word that General de V wanted to see me. When I got there, I thought I was going to be executed. He had the band out and everything. But it turns out, I've been made a captain.
Captain Jonathan Urey. Well, that right there is a cause for celebration.
And they gave you a new coat as well.
Yes, but still not one befitting of my rank. But needs must when the devil drives.
Shh! Don't be mentioning old Scratch so close to sunset down here in the hollow. People say he might be listening around here. There's even a story about a witch who used to live in these parts about 15 years ago, and she'd come down into town and lure...
I hardly think Mr. Urey cares much about the old legends at the moment, Mr. Deeds.
Quite the contrary, Miss Sheba. I'm actually quite interested. After this conflict ends, I would very much like to set up a homestead around this little hollow. Perhaps build a nice covered bridge over this creek. That is, if we choose to stay here in the colonies.
I've always said this creek needed a good bridge built over it. Make it a lot easier than fording the stream, especially in the spring when the rains come. It's a real battle.
Battle. Yes. About tomorrow's battle. Elizabeth, the General has informed me that tomorrow he would like you to be by his side during the fray.
By his side?
Yes, and I think it is a wise course of action. There's no telling what these Yankee scum might do while we're on the battlefield. DeVee says that the generals of the rebels have been sending the militia into the nearby villages to raid them, taking the women and children while the soldiers are in the field. He has asked that you join him for your own safety.
He asked, did he?
Yes, sir.
So, the rich man has laid his eyes upon the poor man's lamb.
What's that, Mr. Deeds?
Nothing, daughter, nothing. Just talking to myself. It's a habit of the old. No doubt wherever the general is, it'll be the safest place in Terrytown.
He's always as far away from the battle as possible, at least until victory is at hand. Elizabeth, you will stay close to the general, won't you? For me.
If you think it's best, Jonathan.
That I do.
General DeVee, the sun is rising.
Yes, and there they are. I see them across the ridge. The fools, they are going to march right down into the hollow.
Yes, our spies say they've already sent scouts to make a stronghold at the old church.
Well, they won't keep it for long. Captain Uri?
Here, General.
You will put your Hessians out to the front. I want a most deadly battalion to be the first thing the rebels meet. We will discourage them with slaughter.
But, sir, the Hessians are primarily a secondary line of defense. They charge in once most of the shots have been fired and the hand-to-hand combat begins. They are primarily armed with swords, not muskets.
Well then, the Yankees won't be expecting that, will they? When they form the gun line, I want your men riding down the middle of them, cutting throats. The Germanics want to be paid like real soldiers. Let them fight like real soldiers.
Yes, General.
What was that? Captain?
Yes, General.
Good. Then you will go and inform your men.
Yes, sir.
Miss Elizabeth, I trust you will stay nearby. Fred, I want you to keep a special eye on Miss Elizabeth and see that her every wish is attended to.
Sir?
You see, Jonathan, my strategy worked beautifully. The Yankees don't know what hit them.
Sir, my men are being slaughtered. Nearly a third of them fell before they were halfway across the field.
Don't be such a stick in the mud, Captain. That's what those men were here to do. No battle was ever won without losing a few men. Fred, order the firing line to take a few pot shots at the Yankees. That'll give them what for.
Have you gone mad? My men are amongst them. Muskets are wildly inaccurate. You'll be more likely to hit the Hessians than the Yankees.
Nonsense. The Hessians are on horseback. The Yankees are on foot. Order the men to aim low.
This is madness. This is a rout.
Fred, give the drum corps the order. I want the firing lines to start and not stop until every last Yankee lies dead.
They've breached our lines, sir. Now every man is fighting hand to hand.
This will never do. Jonathan, get down there and reassemble your Hessians.
Sir!
You heard me. I will stay here and defend the colors. You must go down to the field and give us a victory. You must restage a front line of defense. Why do you think I made you a captain? The men love you. When they see you down among them, they will rally to your position and we will claim the day. Make your way to the Hessian troops and straighten out this rabble.
No! Jonathan, you can't go down there. It's suicide.
Elizabeth, please go back to Fred.
No, I won't let you. Jonathan, you can't.
Captain Uri, every moment you hesitate is another man lost. Go down there and bring me a victory.
Elizabeth, it's my men. They are under my charge. I have to. Fred, give me that cask of pitch. I have a plan.
Yes, Captain. Here.
Help me affix it to my saddle. Bring me those leather straps.
Jonathan, you mustn't.
Captain Uri, get down there.
Immediately, sir.
Jonathan, no. No, please, Jonathan, don't.
I must. Goodbye, Elizabeth.
No. Jonathan, no!
Come, Miss Elizabeth. Jonathan will be back, you'll see. He is a masterful leader of men.
You're right, General. Look! Already the men are rallying to him.
To me, soldiers of the king!
It's Captain Ulray!
Oh, what's he doing? Looks like he's got himself a barrel of pitch, and he's got it bleeding out the back of the barrel!
Fire! Bring me fire!
He's created a wall of flame betwixt us and the rebels!
Behind the line of flames! Behind the fire! To me!
He's given us a chance to recruit! Captain Ulray!
Captain Ulray! Captain Ulray! Captain Ulray! Captain Ulray!
It's him what got us in this situation. He had his Hessians go out first, wanted all the glory for himself.
I wanted no such thing. It was a foolish maneuver brought about by a foolish and self-glorifying cretin. But now is not the time to assign blame. Now is the time for regrouping and victory. Fire is dying. Are you going to let those rebels get the best of you? Are you going to let them have the day?
No!
Are you going to let them have the day?
No!
Then as of now, we start this battle afresh. I want a firing line. 2 lanes. One fires while the second line reloads their muskets. Artillerymen, to your guns. Form ranks!
Form ranks! Form ranks!
Make ready!
Make ready!
Ready! Fire!
Yes, I told you, Elizabeth. I have every confidence in Jonathan.
He wouldn't have had to go down there if you...
Fred, tend to Miss Elizabeth before she says something she will regret.
Yes, sir. I know he's a fool, but we can't say it, my dear. To do so will risk his wrath and possible
You
execution.
stood by and let it happen. You're as much to blame as he
Fred,
is.
have Miss Elizabeth taken to the tavern so she cannot see the battle. She clearly has no stomach for this. I think it will be secure now. We have the rebels well in hand and the men standing sentry over my quarters.
Yes, sir. Now, Miss Elizabeth, please go with the sergeant here. He'll keep you safe, and you won't have to see this unpleasantness.
Fred, lift your spyglass and tell me what you see.
Sir, Jonathan has them firing cannon every 3rd circuit. The men fire and step back, allowing the next line to fire as the first reloads. Then the cannons fire, giving the first line the time to finish reloading and fire again. It's a brilliant stratagem. The cannons give the men just enough time to reload. Covering fire.
You needn't editorialize, Fred.
Yes, sir. It looks like they're running out of bullets, sir. They're going to charge.
Captain, the men are out of bullets! This next salvo will be our
When the
last!
last rounds are fired, I want all men to attach bayonets and charge. Attach bayonets! Charge!
Jonathan is ordered to charge, sir. He's out in the front, leading with his sword out before him. The men are following, sir.
A full charge in the middle of a rout? This is madness. Jonathan has lost his mind.
Lost his mind or not, sir, it's working. He has the Yankees on the run.
That's right, men. Give it to them, lads.
Why would he sound the retreat? We're lost! We're all lost!
What is that fool doing? He's murdered us! No retreat! Fight! Fight! We're in the thick of it now!
The rear lines are retreating, sir. Jonathan and his men are trapped. They're surrounded.
What a pity. It seems that Jonathan was not the leader I took him for. Oh dear.
We might have had a chance had you not sounded the retreat.
You dream, Fred. The battle was lost as soon as it was begun. Jonathan's whole regiment was lost in an attempt at glory hounding, and when the battle turned against us, Jonathan lost his mind and rode down into the midst of the fracas, and he was killed in the process. That is what the official reports will read, and that is all that is to be said about the matter. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Burn for this, I swear by my sword and by the sky above. General Andre Levy will die for this. General Levy, murderer, faithless and deceitful, I will have your head for this, I swear it. I will not rest until I have your head!
He's dead, sir.
Captain Yuri?
Yes, sir. His head was taken off by a cannonball.
Well, imagine that. I would have thought the Yankees would have gotten him. He was completely surrounded.
He fought valiantly, sir. They couldn't get a hold of him long enough to pull him down, but then the ball... it just came through like a game of 9 pins. It missed all the Yankees and men. It avoided everything around him. And then his head was gone. His body fell to the ground, under the feet of the enemy.
It is indeed a shame upon him. So dies Captain Jonathan Yuri.
Fred? Fred, where is he? Where's Jonathan? No, he can't be.
I'm afraid it's true, Miss Elizabeth. Jonathan Yuri is no more.
No.
He fought valiantly, Miss Elizabeth. That should be of some comfort to you. He rode down upon the rebels as if he were the very vengeance of hell made manifest. But, alas, the Yankees were too much for him. His men were overwhelmed, and when many retreated, he stayed true to his duty.
His body. Where's his body?
We have men out there in the valley collecting the bodies of the fallen. But, alas, it may be difficult to distinguish one body from another, particularly his. You see, his head was taken.
Taken?
Yes, a cannonball came from the rebel side, and as if guided by some wind of providence, Jonathan's head was the only thing it hit. Completely removed it from his shoulders, and the remains have gone, we know not where.
Fred?
Yes, Miss Elizabeth.
I would appreciate it very much if when the men return, if you could have Jonathan's body brought to me. You'll know him by the silhouetted brooch on his left breast. It was my mother's. I gave it to him as a token before the battle.
There might be some papers that need filling out before I can turn the body over to you, Miss Elizabeth. But I don't believe there'll be much difficulty in that. General?
Absolutely. And no papers. We will handle all that. Make sure the body is delivered to her post-haste.
Thank you, General.
You are very welcome, Miss Elizabeth. And may I say, if you have need of anything at all, do not hesitate to make it known to me directly.
I thank you, sir. But once I've buried Jonathan's body, I will be leaving this place once and for all. I'm returning home to Rhode Island.
I'd hoped you would stay with us a bit longer. Perhaps you will change your mind.
Perhaps, but at the moment I must take my leave. I cannot bear it.
I understand. Mr. Deeds, would you be so kind as to escort Miss Elizabeth home?
Yes, General. Absolutely. Come along, daughter. I'll see you home. I'm here, Elizabeth. Don't worry. You'll see. It'll be all right. You'll see. When we get down to the village, I'll make you...
I want a full tally of the soldiers who remain and are able to fight. Tomorrow at dawn, we will reassemble and take the Yankees by storm.
Sir, we have only 200 fighting men left. Barely more than a company. The Yankees took very few losses. We must have over 600 men left. It'll be a slaughter. Even more so than today. we will have no soldiers left.
Then they will die in a glorious battle that will be worthy of a song. We will not let the Yankees have this ground without a fight. Do you understand me?
The remaining officers will likely not stand for it, sir.
If they won't stand for it, then they will be removed, and their charges will be under my command, and we will march in spite of them. I will not let it be said that General Andre de Ville ever lost a battle without sacrificing everything to hold the line. Assemble the officers in my quarters in 15 minutes. We have strategy to discuss, and we march at dawn.
What's that? Who's there?
General Andre de Ville of His Majesty the King's Royal Army.
Yes? Who is there? What is the meaning of this?
You have been found guilty of murder by a jury of your peers, guilty of the dereliction of your duty, and guilty of a blatant disregard for the lives of the men under your command. You shall be taken from this place, tied to a tree, and there hung by the neck until you are dead. Dead.
This is outrageous. Leave this room immediately, or I shall have every one of you executed at dawn.
You would have done that in any regard.
Fred? Fred, is that you? Take that mask off. Let me see your face, all of you.
Take him.
No, you will not do this. I am a general. You will obey me. I command you to take your hands off me. No, no! I order you to take your hands off me. Let me go. 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 Let me go.
Andre de Ville, you will now be stripped of your rank. Andre de Ville, you are no longer a general of the King's Court, and now having been found guilty of murder and dereliction of duty, you will now hang by the neck until dead. Do you have any last words?
No, get away from this.
Remove the gag from the prisoner's mouth.
Take off your masks. I will see the faces of my accusers.
Remove them, men.
My officers, I might have known. You will all hang for this. Word will reach the king of this treason, this treachery, this mutiny. A jury of my peers, indeed. None of you are my peers, because none of you are worthy to lick the boots of a de Ville. Who is this rebel dog that accuses me of murder? I demand he stand forth.
I accuse you. I accuse you of the murder of Jonathan Uri and the men under his command. You elevated him in rank, only to ensure his slaughter in a battle that you deliberately sabotaged, from which you then returned, leaving him to die. You've slain my love with the sword of rebels, but it was murder nonetheless.
And that I do confirm. Andre told me of his plans to have Uri killed in battle, so he might attain the fair Elizabeth, not in marriage, but in damned adultery. And in process, he sacrificed both victory and most of his command. I also do accuse.
And we do so convict.
Elizabeth, you witch! You are a dog not worthy of life, a murderous, treacherous whore. Alfred Dolph, you will burn in the lowest fires of damnation for this.
Perhaps. But I will say you there, Andre.
There you are, daughter. Thought I might find you here.
Hello, Mr. Deeds. Yes, I can't seem to stay away for very long.
Well, it's only been about a week since we buried him, daughter. I imagine the grief is still pretty fresh for you. I know it took me months before I could go more than a day without visiting the grave of my wife. Still stop by and talk to her once in a while, and phew, that was 15 years ago, come this spring.
We buried him in the creek itself, and didn't dare put up a headstone or have any sort of marker. The rebels could find it and dig him up. Couldn't have borne that.
Yes, I did hear that. Terrible sorry I couldn't make the funeral. 3 of old man Van Tassel's horses threw shoes. And what with it being the middle of the harvest, well, that sort of thing just can't wait, you see.
It's all right. I just wish there was something I could do for him. Something people could remember him by, even if they don't know why it's there.
You could build a bridge.
What's that?
A bridge. You could build a bridge over his grave. A lot of people have been coming into this valley, and Terrytown can't hold them all. People will be living down here in the hollow soon, and I reckon they'd be mighty grateful for a bridge crossing this here creek, so they don't have to ford through it and get their Sunday clothes wet on the way to church.
Yes. It's a bridge. That's a wonderful idea.
I bet you Mr. Van Tassel would help pay for it, too. Maybe even give you some of the wood off his land. They've been clearing more and more of it every day for crops. I'll talk to him this Sunday when I see him at the service. Though he's for our side, he still has a soft spot deep down for the British. When he hears about how Jonathan was so brave and how he was betrayed by Andre, I'm sure he'll help us.
It's a fine covered bridge, Miss Elizabeth. Jonathan would be so proud.
Yes, Fred. Yes, I believe he would. We wanted to build our home here, but this will have to do. I'll be leaving for Rhode Island soon.
Yes. I'll have to be moving on as well. I'm told another group of British soldiers are on their way here. And I can't have them finding me alive when I'm supposed to be dead.
Dead?
Yes. Couldn't bear to be part of the army of King George anymore not after Jonathan died. I've seen too much. And my service will not be over for another 3 years. The officers told the generals that Andre was hanged by a band of rebels who snuck into town in the night, and that I died defending him. I doubt they put in too much work looking for a clerk during wartime. But all the same, best not be here when they show up.
Where will you go?
Well, Miss Elizabeth, I thought I might go with you.
Whatever do you mean?
Miss Elizabeth, I know I can never be Jonathan. And looking at me might be a constant reminder of your current sadness. But I do so admire you. And we are bound in our grief. I'd hope that, together, strange as it may seem, we might be able to help each other move on from this. It would be my honor to look after your needs, now that Jonathan cannot. I feel a responsibility towards him and you. I might have been able to do something to prevent it, had I but tried. And now, I must admit that I do love you, in a way that you perhaps will never be able to love me, but I would be honored if you would permit me the privilege of marrying you.
Well, come with me to Rhode Island, Fred. We'll see how things transpire from there. Here it's all still too close. There I might be able to consider your offer.
I could ask for no more.
Farewell, Jonathan, my love. May this bridge protect your bones and guard your memory until the final day when all the dead are recalled to life and all our ashes return from the four winds. Sleep well and rest in peace.
Elizabeth could not have been more wrong. I don't suppose anyone's ever lived who had more reason to come back from the grave than Jonathan Murie.